Hi everybody, this is the first of a new series of videos where I discuss my favourite guns in PUBG. This is on the PlayStation 4, or generally, what are the best guns in PUBG. Now, obviously, the best guns are the ones that you've got in your hand at the time, but I tend to work towards certain classes of guns. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Beryl and the M16. Now, the Beryl, being a 762 weapon, you see me picking up here, is a fantastic close and medium range weapon. You want to put the vertical grip on it you can, and something like a hollow or a red dot. Extended mag helps a lot. If you can find a compensator is good. Suppressor is good as well. But what the Beryl gives you is enormous knockdown power. It can compete with SMGs fairly well up close, depending on how many shots you can get into people. Now, the difference between the ARs and the SMGs is that the damage that you put into people is done in a slightly different way. So with an SMG, each bullet does less damage, but they're coming out of the gun much faster. That's why the Vector is, for example, at the moment is such a weapon. With the ARs though, each bullet does more damage, but they come out slower. So you can spray with an SMG up close if your accuracy isn't that great, or you're in a difficult situation, and you'll still get damage into people. Whereas if you do that with an AR and you spray and you miss, you might not get many in. But the big advantage with the ARs is up close, especially if you can hit somebody in the head with one or two of those bullets. You'll kill them very quickly. And the 762 bullets do an awful lot of damage. Now, the other weapon is the M16. Now, the M16 is probably the gun that I pick up the most in PUBG at the moment, and I put a 4x on it, and I use it as my long range weapon, medium to long range weapon. The reason for this is that with the 5.56 rounds, it does a reasonable amount of damage when it hits people, but it has very little recoil. You'll notice with the Beryl, when you're firing it, you set it to fully auto, but you can't keep pulling the trigger. You need to burst it, because the recoil is so high and it will start to get away from you. With the M16 on single fire though, you can be popping at a target quite a long way away, and although the reticle does raise up, most of the time it will pop back down and be on target again. So although each bullet is doing less damage, you can fire much faster. And especially against a moving target, that can be very good, because it means you can get an awful lot of bullets, an awful lot of damage down range. And even though maybe 3 out of 5 of those bullets are missing, those 2 will hit and they'll make the person panic and they'll start running around, and you can keep those bullets going down range. And that lack of recoil means that I will often use an M16 with a 4x on over something like a Mini 14. The 416 behaves in a similar way. They both behave very similarly. And I'd recommend, with the M16, put on an extended mag if you can, a suppressor. Put a suppressor on it and you've got a deadly weapon there. A compensator is good too. It'll be interesting when the new patch comes out fairly soon, over the next few weeks, where we then get to put things like a tactical stock on the M16. Might make it more viable as a close-up weapon as well. But for me, the M16, as you'll see, the fact that you can do that, and it does the damage. Now, the catch for running these two weapons, a 5.56 weapon and a 7.62, is that you do have to keep an eye on your inventory. The 7.62 bullets being very heavy in the Beryl, so you probably want to carry about 120 of those if you've got a level 2 backpack, and probably about the same for the M16, about 120 of those as well. I don't know what this fella thinks he's doing. But there we go. So if you want a really good combination for general purpose fighting in PUBG on the PlayStation 4, you can't really go wrong with something like a Beryl for close-up work and the M16 for medium to long range work. So there we go. Now, actually, I'll add one more thing. Actually, when I say an M16 for medium to long range work, one of the most powerful things you can do in this game, the most useful things when it comes to killing people, is use your red dot at medium to long range. At medium range. Because the problem can often be is if you're firing at somebody who's at medium range and you're using your red dot with something like a 16, you can fire fast, but you can't fire as fast as a fully auto. And so let's say you're in a situation where you see somebody running across a field and you fire at them with your single fire semi-automatic like your M16, bang bang bang, get some bullets into them, but they don't die. At that point, feel free to get out your short range weapon, in this case like a Beryl, and fire that at them. You know, just put that red dot over their body, even though it might be covering most of their body, and fire, you know, burst fire it fully auto. Drr, 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 and you'd be amazed at how many kills you get like that. You won't be as accurate, but you'll be putting an awful lot of damage into them. Anyway, that's enough for me. For your questions and comments down below, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.